Hi friends from around the world. Today I want to talk you a bit through emotions, certain emotions like greed and FOMO, fear of missing out. We are humans, and human behavior is driven by emotions, you know this. And these emotions, you have to have them under control, because people will take advantage of it. You are not only a businessman, you are also a consumer. Right, so you're buying some, I don't know, a subscription to a gym in order to have your body shape worked out, or you are buying food, healthy food or junk food, in order to have your decision to have a healthy healthy body, or you don't have time and just you take whatever it takes in order to be nurtured, or you are doing a decision of an expensive car or a normal car or a cheap car, whatever it is. So these are the investment decisions. Now these investment decisions are being competed on the market through the ads industry, right? So they all want to sell their products, and they compete with others in order to get your decision being taken. So on what do? They appeal on human behavior, on human emotions. Here comes behavioral science and psychology comes into play. And this has been, studied over time, and there is now some heavy knowledge on this, on mass psychology, on behavioral science, in order to get to your brain, to get to your emotions, and get you to make this decision or that decision. Now, how they do it? They appeal, for example, in the timeline. That is very important. They don't want you to decide over, whatever time it is. You want to buy a car, and they don't want you to think half a year about the car. They want to make the decision right now. And how do they do it? Well, they play with the timeline by saying, well, we have 5,000 on stock and it is at this price, and they are selling out quickly. And if you don't come and the 5,000 are sold out, well, you are without car. Or the same thing with some price reductions. It is only for 3 days you can buy this. So you get, in order to not to the emotional fear of missing out, you buy it quickly in order not to be left without that product. So these are some examples. So you see them and you recognize them in the ad industry, in the marketing, in what is the propaganda, what else, where in the social media or where the marketing takes place. These are appealing to, or these are the results of the behavioral science of human nature, and they play with it, they play on it in order to get a certain result, a certain reaction from your side in order to buy the product. Now, this is the legit industry, right? There is also the illegit industry. So the scammers, so to say. And the scammers, they are even each time more, and and they are more versatile, more sophisticated, more educated, more informed on psychology and how to come to your brain. And there is an old story of mine when I was early in the career. That was in the 1980s or so, last century, yes. And there was I was a lawyer, and I had my first clients, and one of my clients was in the recycling industry. So he had a big machine, and the waste is putting inside, and the methane and other issues are coming outside, which could be used for other things, for energy or whatever it was. So it was a kind of a start-up, but they had still some 10 people working. But they told me, well, in order to pay the lawyer, they have some cash flow problems, but they have some I think it was gold or physical gold what they had on their way, and once the gold is received from wherever it was, I don't know, then everything will be paid. But he needs some money in order to go to whatever trade fair it was, and whether it was a possibility for me in order to advance this, it will be paid back 3 and 4 times with the gold when it arrives. Now, I was early in the career, and I was thinking about it, and I told it through with my wife, and my wife said, no, there's no way we do this. And in fact, it was a kind of scam. There was a kind of scam in order to, the company went bankrupt afterwards. They paid me something, but not the whole thing. So it was a kind of appealing to greed. Greed meaning that I pay 100 and get back 100 or 1,000, I don't know, and get back 5 times the money I've given within 3 weeks or so. That is greed. And greed is something where you lose the risk management, the control. You focus only on what you will get, not on what you will lose. And what you have to focus on is what do you lose. And the timeline is also very important, so don't get pressed by time. So if there's only 4 hours in order to do this, well, I forget about risk management, due diligence, and I just buy it, and or I will just do that reaction what is being proposed to me, because I think I will get multiple times back that thing. What you can control is what you lose, right? That is what you control. That is the only thing you control. What you will gain, that is not under your control. So there is a possibility of losing 100%. And once it materialized, this 100%, then you are, probably in a deep problem. That is not what you wanted in the first place. You focused only on what you are gaining. And I've seen this also, with the internet, that is much more sophisticated now. That was in the 1980s, and I could see through at the end. But the internet is much more evolutive, so much more evolved, and the systems are more sophisticated. So the impersonalization of through Facebook profile or Twitter profile or Instagram or whatever it is, which social media you use, there are people you trust, right? Because you're following them since some time. And they have a company, they have, the information, you trust them. So these are typical persons to be impersonated by scammers. So you get then a post from them with a photo of the person you trust, and then you think, immediately, that is good, and this is the proposal, and you get excited. And perhaps it is a link to another site, website, and then this website is very much from that person or that company that you trust, and you get a proposal, and the proposal they say, you have to act within the next 10 minutes in order to get. And so these are the typical. When it is too good to be true, it is. It is too good to be true. So you don't have to act on these feelings, on these emotions, on this greed, on this fear of missing out, because normally what you get is the downside. You lose all what you have invested, and here you can lose all of them. You can lose all of them. So it is once it is in the crypto space, once you get it is anonymous and you pay whatever it is, and you can't track it back, and you have no email, you have nobody to appeal for, so it is gone. So these are things as a consumer, as a business person, investment you make, whatever it is. These are typical things which you have to be aware and to avoid the downside. Greed and fear of missing out, please do not have these feelings. And if you have these feelings, sit down, make your risk assessment. What can I lose? What can I lose? That is what is all about. So then you don't lose, or you lose what you can afford to lose in the first place, right? You will not regret. That's what I want to say. That is a risk, and I can lose 10%, 8% of what is my investment. Well, that should be okay. But if I can lose everything in order to gain 10 times the multiple, more often than not, it is a scam, and don't be scammed, right? Bye-bye.